save in the end.
Thandie Newton.
Thandie.
Wonderful name. Zimbabwean.
Nice name, isn't it?
Was your mother a Zimbabwean princess, really?
That is true.
Is it?
True. It's very different to the way we understand kings and queens in this country, but there are lineages in Zimbabwe. Well, there used to be before colonialism, and so with every tribe there was a king and a queen, but there are many, many tribes.
Yeah.
So in my mother's tribe, the Jombe tribe, she was actually destined to be the queen.
And your father was English, and you were born in England,
yes.
and grew up in Penzance. You've been an exotic flower from Penzance, weren't you?
I was. I did always feel different, but I also, it was always a balance, because I felt different and yet I felt very special, and I felt sort of on the outside of things, but I felt really embraced and very close to my family. But I think all through my life, in retrospect, this strange, tricky balance has always been, I've always been juggling that.
You started in the film business when you were 16, made your first movie, Flirting with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
I mean, did you always want to be a film star? Was that your ambition as a child?
No, I wanted to dance.
All right.
That was my dream, was to dance. And I actually did pursue dancing very seriously. I went to a boarding school, an art school, when I was 11. I got a scholarship to go to the school. Ever since I was tiny, I've needed to entertain. I really had a need, a burning need to entertain anybody. And so that came true for me when the Cornwall County Council had one grant to give a pupil every year, and I got the grant to go to this incredible school, and I basically left home when I was 11 in a way, because it's a long way from home, and we didn't have that much money, so my parents couldn't come and see me, and I couldn't come home that often, so I started. I was on my own.
Very vulnerable, I would imagine.
Yes, I think I was.
And Crash has really changed everything for you, hasn't it? Because
this tiny film, honestly, the most, not insignificant at all, because it was something that we really believed in. All of us valued it very much.
But no money.
No money. I had to fly myself out to shoot it at one point.
Did you?
Yes, I did. But it was worth it, because it's so rare as an actor to read a script that just gives you that burning desire to perform. You know, it's a job like any other, so you do things to pay the rent, and I try and find enjoyment, and I do manage to in everything that I do, but Crash was something special. It was...
And also, I mean, your part in it, it's a very strong part of an actress, isn't it? The film really pivots on the sexual assault that's carried out on you by a cop, by a racist cop. But let's now see a sequence. This is after the assault. This is you and your husband talking about what happened.
Do you have any idea how that felt? To have that pig hand all over me? And
Calm down right now.
no, what I need is a husband who will not just stand there while I am being molested.
Well, when you came to do that scene, that day where you are assaulted, did you know what was going to happen?
I didn't really. I didn't know the extent of and I should have known, because I refer to it in that scene, actually.
Yes,
I mean, I really graphically refer to it. But in my English way, I thought it was ironic or sarcastic.
I see.
So when we actually came to shoot the assault, it was the very last thing that we filmed. And I'd already shot everything else. And the director, Paul Haggis, a very sensitive man, very much someone that we trusted, took Matt Dillon by his side before we started shooting and said to us, so look, you know, I'm here for you, and it's going to be a very difficult scene, and Thandie, do you have protective underwear?
Protective underwear?
Yeah. Sort of, because my dress was very tight, and in order to make it look realistic, you'd have to really be feeling around my body and my private area, and that's what he was referring to, and I was horrified, because in the script it hadn't been written so graphically.
Would you have played it?
That's a good question. I would have found it difficult, as I did, because I went into the makeup trailer after I had that conversation with Paul and Matt, and I cried and cried and cried. Partly because I wasn't prepared, and also just the shock of having to be in that place, of having to let that happen, even though we're just simulating something.
Sure.
It was personal violation, absolutely. It was a very, very hard scene to film.
So where do you draw the line as an actress in a situation like this? Because it was a personal
I nearly
violation.
did that night, actually, because I felt that it wasn't clear in the script.
Yes.
Although it was, and I think if I'd read it without my denial,
Yes.
I would have known that's what I was going to have to do.
But you've said before that happened that as a film star you've been exploited at work and in my personal life. What do you mean by that?
I've been in situations, well, one in particular, when I was a teenager. I mean, I started very, very young.
When you were 16?
I did,
Your
my first film, and I went from a school environment, literally, into film, and the same dynamics were in place. You know, I had, in school, the headmistress and the teachers, and you do what they say, and you're a good girl if you do that, or you're just following the rules. And so on the film set, and I had no experience in film, so I would do what I was told. That unfortunately continued into a personal situation, and I was 16 and I was completely innocent. I had no perception of being in a film situation and that whole world, and as an adult now I do judge it. I judge it for what I believe it is, which is an exploitative situation. To the thing that I really cherish, which is my personal life. Because the other thing that I've seen, being on the outside of the film industry, because I've been doing it for so long, is how your personal life just gets worn down. And I wasn't ready. To be honest, I wasn't ready. And I never regretted it.
No, I was going to say
and look now, I'd much rather it came for Crash.
Absolutely. I mean, which is a serious movie, a seriously good movie. And Mission Impossible 2, I must ask you, I mean, you famously were asked what it was like snogging Tom Cruise, and you said it was icky.
That's because it had been a long, long time publicly, and I had answered the question many, many times. And I feel terrible about that, because Tom's response when he was told that I said that about him, about kissing him, was that it was like kissing Hitler. So I was very sad.
Kissing you was like kissing Hitler?
Yeah, because he was...
Somebody's telling lies.
I mean, Tom is hilarious. He actually gave me a crash course in screen kissing on Mission Impossible 2, because at the end of the film, we come together in this glorious moment. I've nearly died, and he's nearly died, and we come together, and we have to have this enormous kiss. And I've got quite a small nose, so when I dived in for this kiss, apparently I sort of squashed his nose around the place, and his cheeks were everywhere. And he took me aside, and took me to the monitor, raced me to the monitor, and said, "Thandie, come on, we just gotta see what you're doing." So we watched the monitor, and it's true, I was just like a ferret. Absolutely terrible, but I felt the passion. I felt I was really getting involved, and so then we went back onto the set, and we did it again, and then we went rushing back to the monitor to watch it. And so honestly, we must have done it 10 times, going backwards and forwards to the monitor until we perfected the screen kiss. So now I'm just perfect. I could demonstrate now, but neither of you are actors, so...
If I could, ready, I had a BAFTA nomination for a play.
The movie makes them more difficult to treat.
A painful pest that has many people this summer